there. Center of Excellence recognized by innovation, quality teaching, learning, provided opportunities both locally. I went to college, is that I had a job for a lifetime, started as a teacher, retired as a teacher. Now we have them blazing with the times. To God be the glory. Keep reinventing our students. That when we have opened that box and we have looked at the activities we have to do, we will really define the principal staff, our Students Association, parents, and the student body. We want that to happen when we flesh out our and what we have been doing. We have a graduation class today of a total of 23 graduates from the institution. We want to wish them well at this time. And we have the others who are here and they are embracing change, and they are the courses that they pursued. We have short courses, associate degrees, and bachelor degrees. The names are already in your program, WHI. And so I just want us to have a brief, there's no overhead projector. Give me a minute. Okay. You know, present, we only now have one campus operating. And so our enrollment has been down, but we hope that in time to come, we are working on it, that we will have. The Government of Jamaica source document clearly states that for the year 2020, 2021, 22, and onwards, many of the students did not access face-to-face or online classes. I notice wherever Dr. Cornwell goes, wherever we go as members of staff, we see young persons who are not engaged. We have seen the fruit of our labors, because persons are now attending Western hospitality because of the encouragement. So there has been offered that we did for the ministry, for the government. We had quite a few different programs and fun bear with us. I talk about being trained with not in large time goes by, and so we have to do so when persons can account for paying the tuition owed, because we know many are facing financial difficulties. Currently, or financial assistance. So here I put in the plea, if you so desire, we want you to assist the old. We're encouraging you all to see if you can help our students who cannot complete their studies by offering. The students have been affected, but also employment at WHI. So we had to place our members of today we can be financially viable again. So the way forward for us at the Institute, returning fully to more international collaboration with Hawkins College and with Franklin. So not only Hawkins, and there's also Hawkins College and secondary credentials. We want to offer more short courses, because as I say, it's lifelong learning. So I'm hoping, God bless you. Thank you. To our graduates, all the very best as you go out into the real world. Some of you are to your families. Thank you to your families. Thank you. Stand on your spouses and your siblings. Wonderful. I just want you to focus on your goals. Don't be afraid of change. Everything is up for grabs. And you can become anything that you desire. You can accomplish anything that you want. And we are eagerly waiting. Congratulations to you again and to your families. I wish each of you
Western Hospitality Institute first principal, Mr. Juraski Young. Mr. Young, could you please stand and be those students who came to us with one CXC from Green Island Secondary, now high school. He would have had 3 degrees from 3 different countries. He's associate from Jamaica, masters from University of Birmingham. We are happy to serve with one subject and all that, to even go to the Ministry of Education as a director. He runs his own company, Darius Employment and Recruitment Agency, of service to the institution, and for embodying the spirit of WHI and being our first sprint. Mr. Young is, of course, How could we overlook you, right? Avril Campbell Brown. In the Ministry of Education, now Avril actually have 2 masters and to have been a branch manager for NCB, saw Ian of program at Delaware State University, who came to WHI. And they saw the interest of journalism. He has only cried twice, and once was a June Clark story. And to say that, Avril was back, her friend, sent her to WHI. We need her skills. We'll use her to teach, but we'll enroll her in the bachelor's degree program for all that time. And now, nearly 7 years or more, she's with the Ministry of Education. I'll point out to you that Avril, I was in the store. I was actually meeting a student. I was sponsoring the graduation outfit. And Avril walked in. And one of the things, the guidance at the time of Principal Young, and a student was sitting there, his shoes was gone. And she said she always remember, I took off my shoes I just bought. And I took it off and I gave it to the student and walked bare feet to my car. And so I'm going to ask the student who just arrived late, sorry, we started on time, we train you for the industry, and therefore we expect you to go and get, so please head to the robing room and get your gowns on. Thank you. All right, I'm going to be asking the musician, he's supposed to be providing us with a song. Oh, that's not happening? Oh, I'm very sorry. Please let me know what is not happening, because I was under the impression it to come forward. Thank you.
Position that was entrusted onto me in December 2023. I want to acknowledge this 2022 to 2023, to also acknowledge the work done by the students who served under my tenure. With the student body from the academic years 2022 to 2024 had the Ministry of Tourism in partnership with the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Associate, which was held at the Montego Bay Convention Center, being a part of this event. The 5 days of work were quite an experience that really served to strengthen our marketing and sales skills. In the height of work, it was quite a valuable experience, as it also strengthened our social and professional skills as students and young professionals, as students who had to manage and operate the day-to-day operations during the entire tenure at the institution, which was an experience money can't buy. The experience for my classmates and I, which had allowed us to meet a lot of influential persons within tourism, and that brought us valuable experience. I thank you.
Ask our board chairman, and if you look in your program, you'll get her background. Dr. Diane Will in America. Dr. Williams has been one of those persons, at Virginia State University, was very instrumental in tuition and scholarship. We lobbied the president and her then vice president to move for that department. Since then, she has worked with several universities across Dr. Bryant in education. I know send his blessing. Please join us, Madam Board.
Thank you for that welcome, Mr. Cornwall, Dr. Cornwall. We go way back. It is a bounteous day in Montego Bay today, especially when I look to my right. Functions assiduously working on their duties to recreate and referred to as the glory days in the past. We will see that again. I've been warned about the timing, and I don't want to steal the thunder from the guest speaker, so I'm going to say faculty, staff, administration, principals of other schools who have made their way here. Good afternoon. You are why we are here. Have achieved your goals, and that is commendable. That is sincerely how I feel about that. You have made the right choice to come to Western Hospitality and further yourselves. You have rejected apathy. You have rejected hardships and cruelty, and on this wonderful journey in this field of hospitality that I have been committed to. Believe in yourselves, and with the background, the degree, and the exposure, selves a hand. Because it's you I'm talking to. Right? Your innovative, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills, you will outdo artificial intelligence. Create and innovate using that as your basis. Do not be afraid of it. Guarantee that I will have the job that I want and immediate success will come. But it doesn't. It works, right? Seek mentorship and let people know high rates, all right? In Guyana, 25%, St. Lucia, 20% hospitality business. The unemployment levels are high. Where do you think Jamaica falls in that? To be proud of, right? We are making our way, and it's because of folks like you. Our industry is thriving and will continue to do so, right? You must embrace the new realities and reinvent yourselves, as you've heard before. Online. I remember when I graduated with my degree, which was fully funded by the government of Jamaica, there were no jobs available. It took me 6 months to meet the world in this period, right? Do what you must until you can do what you want, okay? Your first job is not going to be the last. You've heard that from the principal. Use it as a learning experience. Prioritize learning over earning also. It's not always the money, right? It's the long-term benefit that counts. Always upskill during your downtime, investing in yourselves. There are so many online programs, right? Pursue internships. Get a master's degree when you can so that you can be competitive. Be a lifelong learner. Because everybody is looking for their piece of the pie. And your degree doesn't feel like it's not right. Do something about it, right? And physically. And the last one, I'm going to skip over some of them because I know that I'm on time. Think globally, right? Look far and wide and focus on opportunities that might not seem possible for you, but believe in yourselves and you'll be surprised to find out someone will eventually respond. Fall back on the people who are in your circle. The people in this room. Make sure you meet someone this evening. All right? Make that first impression and never forget Western hospitality, because this is where you're getting your start. And your mentors, your family, they have your back, right? But we are depending on you to help pull us forward. So, for the graduating class, there is always a choice to be made, whether you're here or there, right? And it's the same option for all grown-ups. You have to decide on what path to take. You have already made good decisions by coming here. Just by virtue of your being here, you are on your way. Dig deep, find your direction, and go forth and serve. Congratulations on earning your degrees. Focus now on making it work for you. Be the first Jamaican entrepreneur, all right? If that's what it takes. Ownership is key, right? So look for opportunities to monetize the skills that you have. And I look forward to seeing you grow in this industry and to meeting you individually later on. So embrace your superpowers, because you're supermen and women. The world awaits. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, for those solid words to the audience, and in particular the graduates. And we do hope it has not fallen deaf ears. I want to acknowledge the presence of one of our students who we would have again developed to become one of those group managers in charge of sales for sandals. This is where she got her associate degree. This is where she got her bachelor's degree. This is where she met her husband and established with 2 children. Her husband is actually one of the assistant director of food and beverage over there in at the Royalton brand in Antigua and Barbuda. I'm going to ask her to join us. Julian, could you please join us up front, please? Thank you. Good to see you. She's hardly ever home, always traveling, doing sandals work. Thank you. All right, at this time I'm going to ask Ms. Anika Lewing-Sangster to please introduce our guest speaker. And before Anika come, I want to say my 2 cents. Because this is all formally put together, but for me, LaToya, now Dr. Morgan Smith, is a young lady that I actually discovered at the valedictorian at Runaway Bay Heart Academy, Runaway Bay, College of Hospitality Services. And I remember she delivered a very, very firm, very thought-provoking speech. And I looked at her skills and talent as actually the Dr. Janet Dyer, who was in charge of Heart then, had actually recommended Nicholas Miller, who had graduated the year before, to be for a scholarship to WHI. But when I saw LaToya and the speech she gave, I said, I want to develop that young lady. And I took her in at WHI with Nicholas Miller, who is doing his doctorate. LaToya first into it. And he's doing at Temple University. And I would have worked with them both. And LaToya, like Nick, give of self. Give of self. They satisfy with a little $25,000 a month for the 2 years because they know most of it went back to their tuition. But look at them now. Look at them now. From a young lady who was just not knowing where she's headed, but was at heart graduating, from with her skills certificate, and took the chance with me and came to Montego Bay, and I would have worked with her and developed her. And to see her now as Dr. Smith, immediately I said, you must speak to the graduates because I know your story. I have watched you grow and I have developed you. So I know there are persons in the audience, for example, young Miss Carty, who decided not to go back to the call center, but to stay at WHI and to give up herself and is graduating this evening. You're fortunate because you're getting more than LaToya get. But at the end of the day, these are testimony of the institution. Because LaToya is not only an author, an educator, and works with the Ministry of Education as a technical development officer. I'm very proud of you. Please stand and let her feel the love and the welcome. Good, but then I want, yes. Anika, come forward and introduce her. Yes, yes, she still needs it. Thank you. That was my little 2 cents.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, faculty members, and graduating class of 2024, I am honored to welcome you to the Western Hospitality Institute graduation ceremony. Today we gather to celebrate the achievements of our graduates, and we are thrilled to have a distinguished guest speaker with us. Please help me in welcoming Dr. Latoya Morgan Smith. Dr. Smith is a distinguished educator and a professional with a rich background in hospitality management, academic leadership, and hermeneutics, including the Hebrew language and vocational training. A proud alumnus of the Western Hospitality Institute, Dr. Smith was honored as Best Presenter and Best Researcher proposal at the 2011 University of Technology and Western University of Delaware Student Research Colloquium, as the author of Strides of Triumph and Mindful Mystery. She exemplifies lifelong learning and excellence. Her accolades include the National Award, Charger Award, Academic Excellence, and WHI President's List Award 2011, among other distinctions. Dr. Smith holds a doctorate of ministry from the CICA International University, a master's degree, a postgraduate diploma in education and training, dual bachelor's degree, including a Bachelor of Science from the Western Hospitality Institute, and numerous professional certification. Her certificates highlight, and her career highlights include roles as an educator, skills competence assessor, masters of ceremony, voice trainer, and transformational speaker, impacting diverse audience including educators, students, and parents. She has served as a hospitality manager in the hospitality industry and contributed across 3 categories of accommodations, showcasing her versatility and dedication. Her philanthropic endeavors alongside her husband through WYE Limited, a registered charitable nonprofit, reach Jamaica's less fortunate, orphans, and Golden Age homes. As Technical Development Officer at the Ministry of Education, Dr. Smith provides strategic support to the 6th Form Pathway Program and Work Experience Program, driving positive change and inspiring excellence. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Dr. Latoya Morgan Smith to the stage. We look forward to your inspiring words.
Thank you so much. You know you're special when you have 2 introductions, ain't it? Boy, this little lectern can't hold all this knowledge. I think I may have to ask you just to hold this until I get to a particular point. Thank you so much. All right. Dr. Cecil Cornwall, Executive Chairman and Chair of this prestigious occasion. Please allow me to stand on the protocols that have already been established and for the sake of time, will you bear with me? Through you, Mr. Chair? Thank you so much. We're gathered under the theme, repositioning and empowering self for greater good through education and training. It is, of course, a privilege and honor to address you on this momentous occasion, a day that symbolizes not only the culmination of academic endeavors, but also the beginning of a transformative journey into a world that is brimming with opportunities. Now more than ever, we see opportunities expanding and opening in various sectors, and there is a heavy demand for innovation. And I believe innovation sits right here in the gold, the blue, and the black gowns. Would you agree with me? But of course, yes, man, don't make me clap so stingy. So this theme challenges us to reflect on the profound role of education in redefining both individual potential and collective progress. Education, I would love to say, is a catalyst for personal and collective transformation. And at its core, education is far more than the acquisition of knowledge or the mastery of technical skills. It is a catalyst for profound personal and societal transformation. It enables us to interrogate our assumptions, and don't we have a number of assumptions about the world? It encourages us to broaden our perspectives, to shift our mindset. Education causes us to think deeper, to think critically, because there are a lot of problems that require solutions, and we're all wired to be problem solvers, aren't we? You don't believe you are? But if you come to Western Hospitality Institute, you must be wired to solve problems. I tell you, and I soon tell you why I say that. Let me get back into the speech, eh? So we interrogate our assumptions. Here at Western Hospitality Institute, you have been immersed in an academic environment that emphasizes both intellectual rigor and practical application. Through this dual focus, you have been prepared not only to excel in your respective professions, but also to navigate the intricate, multifaceted challenges of an increasingly interconnected and volatile space or landscape. The hospitality and service industries, to which many of you will find yourselves hereafter, among other sectors, demand not only your technical expertise, but also emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is the ability to manage my emotions despite the complexities around me and understand the emotions of others as well. That's the simplest way I can put it. Yes, so the industries will demand emotional intelligence, cultural sensitivity, understanding that people from various backgrounds are entering the industry to which you have been assigned, because this is an assignment. If we see our jobs as just work, we will really never do our best. But when we recognize that we are on an assignment to make someone else's lives better and also to enhance our own lives, when we recognize that we're all interconnected, then we work a little bit different from if we're just looking at a salary. You heard Dr. Cornwell talk about the 25,000, and I'm telling you, it couldn't do much, you know. But we recognize that we were on an assignment. And even as something was poured into us, we needed to pour into others, because we were not only pouring into others for ourselves, but for the Jamaica we want to live in. Did I make something clear? For the Jamaica we want to live in. Because if we leave it as it is now, many of us may not be able to wind down the windows at the stoplight in short order. And so we recognize that in order to create the society we want to live in, we have to impact the lives of others through education, through training, through our integrity. Yet, As graduates, you stand at the nexus of possibility, empowered to transform your professions and redefine the standards of service, leadership, and innovation. We talk about repositioning as part of your theme. The concept of repositioning oneself implies intentionality, adaptability, and having a vision. You must at least be able to see what you hope to achieve through the qualifications that you have obtained. I was once in that gown, then I transitioned to this gown, then another gown, and now this gown. Oh, and my wedding gown. Can't forget that gown, eh? Oh, wow. So the concept of repositioning oneself implies intentionality and adaptability. To reposition is to move beyond the comfort zones. It means that we recalibrate our trajectory toward new heights of achievement and impact. It requires acknowledging not only your strengths, but also the gaps in your knowledge, in your skills, those things you're not so able to do, but you are willing to work on. Yes? While embracing the courage to address these gaps. We must be willing to acknowledge that we are not the quintessential of all knowledge, and we're not the repository of all knowledge, and we're not the ones who will be perfect at everything, but we're willing to grow. We must move from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. However, true repositioning transcends personal ambition. It is grounded in the recognition that individual success must serve a greater purpose, a purpose rooted in the upliftment of others and the advancement of society. It is particularly poignant in our Jamaican context, where the challenges of economic inequity, youth unemployment, and social instability demand innovative solutions from every sector. As graduands, soon to be graduates, of this prestigious institution, you are uniquely poised to contribute meaningfully to the development of Jamaica and the broader worldwide community that is so interconnected. In the words of the scriptural writer Paul in Philippians 2:4, he says, "Do not merely look out for your own personal interests, but also for the interests of others." Let your education and training become tools of empowerment, not only for yourselves, but for those you are called to serve. As graduates, you stand at the threshold of endless possibilities, ready to contribute not only to the economy, but to the very fabric of society. The decision to reposition yourselves was never only about choosing a career path, it was about choosing to transform your potential into tangible, meaningful impact. We also look at empowering yourselves, still focusing on the theme. Empowerment is not an end point, but an ongoing process. One that requires continuous learning, resilience, and the cultivation of visionary leadership. The dynamic nature of the hospitality and service industries, coupled with the rapid pace of technological and societal change, necessitates a commitment to lifelong learning. Leadership in this regard is not defined solely by titles or positions, but by the ability to inspire, to influence, and to innovate. True leaders understand that empowerment is reciprocal. It is found in lifting others as we rise. This aligns with the wisdom spoken of in Proverbs 11:25, which reminds us, "The generous being will be rich, but he who waters others will also be watered himself." Education equips you with the intellectual tools to understand the world around you, while training refines your ability to apply the knowledge effectively. Together, they empower you to not only perform your job with excellence, but to innovate, lead, and drive progress. You are now equipped to face the complexities of the modern world, to solve problems and to lead with vision and integrity, doing what is right even when no one is looking. Very important. But empowerment also comes with responsibility. The choices you make moving forward must not only benefit you personally, but must consider the impact on those around you. Empowerment is not an individual pursuit, it is a collective one. As you take charge of your future, I encourage you to use the gifts of education and training to help others to rise with you, be it those in your family, those around you, and even those who may want to access programs that have helped you, such as that which is offered at Western Hospitality Institute. Be an ambassador, because that is what you now are. The true measure of success is not only in what you achieve for yourselves, but in what you contribute to the world. The greater good is about leveraging your education for societal transformation. Each of you, through your diverse studies and expertise, has the power to create lasting change, whether in your local communities, national development, or on a worldwide scale. As you prepare to leave the hollowed walls of Western Hospitality Institute, I urge you to consider how you might leverage your education and training for greater good. This is a call to transcend the ordinary and embrace the extraordinary, to serve as agents of positive change within your families, within your communities, within your professions. These 3 points stand out, and I want you to note them. Reimagine possibilities. I want you to note them. I want you to note them. The teacher in me is coming out. Note them. You have phones and them things. Note them. Reimagine possibilities, number 1. Let your vision extend beyond what is to what can be. So don't only look as far as your nose bridge, but imagine what is possible. If you can dream it, if you believe it, if you're willing to speak it, you can achieve it. Do you believe it? Yes. Believe, no man. The hallmark of an empowered mind is its capacity to innovate and inspire. The hallmark of an empowered mind is its capacity to innovate and inspire. L. Morgan Smith, 2024. You attract what you believe, and you manifest what you speak. You attract what you believe, and you manifest what you speak. So it means you have to speak life over your situations. You have to speak success. You have to speak, as a former professor I had would say, speak what you want. Speak what you want. So don't speak negatively. Don't speak against those who have helped you to get to where you are. Don't encourage others who are speaking against your qualifications, who may be speaking against your family, your institution. Do not encourage those talks, not because the majority is saying or doing makes it right. Are you with me? Sometimes it is in the minority, the creme de la creme. Bugattis are not made in large quantities. That missed some people. Some people don't know what name Bugatti. You don't know what is a Bugatti? Well, if you don't know, it just proves my point. It's not made in large quantities. A Toyota Corolla, yes. So you decide what you will be, a Toyota Corolla or a Bugatti. Number 2, foster inclusive growth. Use your skills and influence to create opportunities for others. particularly those who are marginalized or underserved. You heard of the story of that young man who received the shoe. I sat in that office, Doc may not have remembered. I sat in my little corner and watched him. He was a tall young man. And he sat right there in the chair. I was there when he took off the shoe, and then he walked barefoot back to his car and left with no shoe. Truly inspirational. So innovate and inspire. Number 3, champion excellence. Champion excellence. In every endeavor, commit to excellence not as an abstract ideal, but as a consistent practice that defines your character and your contribution to society. The world desperately needs individuals who are not only proficient in their craft, but also driven by an ethical compass and a commitment to service. It is my firm belief, and I believe I said it earlier, that the graduates, soon-to-be graduates we have sitting here, embody those characteristics. And I believe your family members and well-wishers will agree with me. Indeed, you have it. Even if you don't see it in yourself, it is there. It is there. And I'm speaking it, and you decide if you want to accept it. Yes? As graduates of Western Hospitality Institute, you are now equipped to enter this broader world of service and innovation. Whether your career takes you into the business sector, the creative industries, technology, community development, the impact you will make resonates far beyond your immediate circle. Marcus Garvey once said, "The greatness of a man is not in how much wealth he acquires, but in his integrity and his ability to affect those around him positively." End quote. This is the essence of empowerment for the greater good. It is your ability to lead with integrity, to inspire change, and to leave a legacy of service, not just success. Like you, I started with a dream. As a high school girl, I had a deep love for cooking. I was passionate about food and hospitality, and I always dreamed one day of managing a hotel. I had no clear path forward, and the future seemed uncertain. My parents were proud of me, but they had no idea where my journey would lead. I too had no clue what would come next. I went to then Runaway Bay Hart, now Hart College of Hospitality Services, where I started my journey in culinary arts. At graduation, after I delivered that speech and I felt good, gone with myself. But I had no clue what would come next. I went backstage and I was praying hard for a miracle because I know my parents are shouting and everybody is excited, but I really didn't know what would come next. Here comes this gentleman backstage. My name is Cecil Cornwall, and I'm giving you a scholarship to my institution. And I'm looking at this gentleman, and I'm in awe, like, somebody can do that? Just walk and say, I'm giving you a scholarship to my institution. You thought you'd get some fancy email and something, and give it. And I said, this man is giving me a scholarship from one little speech. And suppose me need to do some other things make him see. And I was excited. I had no words but thank you at the time, but trust me, much more was going on inside here. Because to hear that you're getting a scholarship, remember I had no clue what was coming next. I believed it. I spoke it. Because I said to my mother, not from a wealthy background, and I said to my mother, I'm breaking the chain. I must be the difference. I'm going to make the change. Because I had a history of family members who would work as janitors and cooks and, the menial jobs that wouldn't pay much. Some members of the family never graduated from high school or even college. And so I became the change, and I spoke that change, and I believed it would happen. And like you, I was able to put on a gown for having higher levels of learning. I thought the journey would end there and then I would move on until Dr. Cornwall threw me in a classroom and said, you must now teach. I'm like, teach? I didn't even like teaching, or so I thought. Or so I thought. It was after entering the classroom that I really saw the value of what I received at Western Hospitality Institute. Being able to help other young minds to grow. Being able to see others achieve things that for them initially seemed impossible was a big deal for me. During my time as a student at Western Hospitality Institute, I didn't have anywhere to live. In fact, I didn't even know anything about Montego Bay. It's my first time coming, sir. Dr. Cornwall brought me all the way to Montego Bay. Never been to that part of the island for as far as I can recall. And so I turned tourist. So anytime I go into my mother's house, I said, remember I'm a tourist, so you have to give me the fan. And I came to Montego Bay full of hope, believing, okay, it's far and I don't really know the school. I never even know any Western Hospitality Institute, but it sounded fancy. And I went along with it, and the man did talk. When he spoke at the graduation, I loved his speech and it sounded bright. So I said it must be a good school then. And I spoke to, you heard him speak of Mr. Miller, Jason Miller. I spoke to Jason. I said, Jason, now with school names, so he said, we don't know neither, but maybe we go and see what is happening. And we went there. When I came to Montego Bay, I had nowhere to live. I had no family in Montego Bay. I had no friends. I knew no one in Montego Bay. There was a teacher, I'm calling her name on live stream, Miss Bravo. Little Miss Bravo, but a big personality. And I said to her, Miss Bravo, I don't have anywhere to stay, and I don't think I can continue at this school. And she said to me, I will assist you. And so I stayed with Miss Bravo for 2 months, and then Miss Bravo had the heart to tell me she had to move. So I went to find somewhere. Can you imagine? So you see the sense of entitlement. So I went back to Dr. Cornwall, then Mr. Cornwall, and I said, sir, I don't think I can stay in Montego Bay. I have nowhere to stay. I have no one here. I have no money. So maybe I can go to your Kingston campus. At the time, they had a campus at the Pegasus. And I said I would go to that campus. At the time, Jason pack up and gone, and leave me one of my bay. And he said to me, you're not going back. So locate somewhere and I'll assist you to pay the first 2 months' rent. And he did. Clap him, no man. He doesn't even remember. Thereafter, of course, I had to find my way. The assembly I was attending, they assisted greatly, but I was sleeping on a bed base. Bed base. It wasn't even mine, it was borrowed. I would prepare my meal on a clothes iron, turn the iron upside down, put it in the corner and cook on it. Nobody knew I was doing that while I was coming to school. I didn't even tell Dr. Cornwall that. I told him I had financial challenges, so he knew that part. With 25,000. And I cooked on an iron. At a June plum tree, I would eat June plum for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Blend June plum to send down June plum. Me talk it like a joke, but it's so it got true. And I was very upset when the landlord cut down that June plum tree. I think he must fight in me, But the point I'm bringing across is I had little to nothing. I didn't complain about it. I never came to work or to school complaining and saying, me nah come back because me no have. I never told anyone. I only told one person about the iron and she said, well, I need some dinner. So what a wicked woman. And I had to cook some yam and mash up some cheese and carry come give her. I always sat and ate it and she called it iron yam. Good times. I was through, when I became a lecturer at Western Hospitality Institute, program coordinator, Western Hospitality Institute under the leadership and stewardship of Mr. Young, who was principal at that time when I was program coordinator. At one point I was Dean of Discipline. Oh dear, you don't want to meet me as Dean of Discipline. My students to this day talk about it. But at that time, I was being groomed for greater purpose. I didn't know what was coming next still, but I know that something bigger than me was coming. And this was training ground for it. So I accepted it. And I gave of self. I was one of the first persons to get to work and one of the last to leave. In fact, when I was leaving, sometimes the security would walk me down to the town because I didn't have a car or anything like that. And so he would walk me home and then welcome me back in the morning. But I never complained. I continued because I had a determination to achieve something bigger. Remember, I told my mother I'm going to break the chain. I told Mommy I'm not going to move back into this house. I need to be something bigger. So if I have to tough it out, I'm going to tough it out. And I stayed at Western Hospitality. Dr. Cornwall would give us some impossible tasks to do. Not true, Miss Campbell Brown? Yes. We got some projects that were so big, with no resources and no budget. And all he would say is, "Me no, we make it work." And I'm telling you, we made it work. It had to work. He was never the type of leader who stood over you and asked you, "So what is happening? So what is happening?" No. He only gave you the deadline, told you what he wanted to see happen, and him gone. The next time you see sir, because him know we're under pressure, you know, him carry tea station come with crackers and tea. And say, "Here is a tea station. So if you don't feel so well, you'll drink tea." And sir, no, we're under pressure. We had to run restaurant and all these things with no budget. See Mrs. Campbell Brown there? We're like, but this man not easy. But we make it work. And I'm telling you, that has developed us a great deal into the professionals we are now. Because when we see possibilities, we say, "Yes, man, we're ready for the challenge." Dr. Cornwall, I salute you. You heard in my profile how I was part of a team of persons who entered the research proposal student colloquium, of course, hosted by the University of Technology and the University of Delaware. I never really wanted to enter that thing, but Dr. Cornwall was determined as usual. And so he took various proposals from different students, about 7 or 8 of us, I believe it was, and he submitted them. I worked tirelessly to try to come. I had no laptop. I had to go to courts and purchase a refurbished laptop. It done shortly after that, but it achieved the purpose for which it was purchased. And I sat up late, asked my housemate to lend me her internet thingy. They had some little thumb drive looking something at that time that you could get the internet from. And I saved up the little money that I wanted to use to go buy the yam and put the internet on the thing, and I worked assiduously over that paper. And I was changing this and changing that because everybody calling me. This is why it's important to be careful of the voice you're listening to, you know. I'm changing the paper because others are telling me it makes no sense. At that time, I didn't know Dr. Cornwall already submitted the paper that makes no sense, you know. I am working to meet this 12 midnight deadline to change up the paper. That time the paper gone already, you know. How I knew that was when I got to the location. I saw that the old topic I had for the research proposal is what they had. That is how I know the paper went off before I even finished. I was so nervous. I was a nervous wreck. I called my best friend at the time, and he prayed with me, encouraged me, spoke life into me. One person, no, versus other voices. And I said, okay, I will do it. That person is my husband now. And I entered the competition. I believe my theme had to do with identifying the human factors that contributed to the depletion of Montego Bay's coral reef. It was in 2011. Little did I know that one of the adjudicators was the director for the Marine Park in Montego Bay. So if I had said anything that never goes so, he would be able to say, no go so. And so when I was through, I sat to the back because I was nervous. I didn't think I did as well as, and there were 2 top awards. One of those awards was for the top presenter. The other award was for the top paper, research proposal paper. And WHI was there, other schools were there, we're all sitting down, little WHI, And we heard the different prizes being called out, and I said, well, let me go to the bathroom because I don't think anything coming to be. And shortly before I got up, I heard top presenter, LaToya Morgan, Western Hospitality Institute. I'm like, what? Is the right paper? Then look at is me. And I got up and I stood for a little while, and then I walked up there in this mega basket, and I collected my basket, and I said, well, at least me leave with something. And I went back to sit down, and before I could even rest off properly, top research proposal paper, Western Hospitality Institute, LaToya Morgan. Little WHI that pressure me brought out the best in me during that time, and the 2 top awards from that competition were copped by Western Hospitality Institute and the speaker speaking to you at this time. So there is greatness in Western Hospitality Institute. Don't take it for granted. We're little, but we. So of course, along the way, I have worked in almost every area of the hotel, with the exception of landscaping, engineering, nurses station, the spa, and I didn't do water sports, but I did in the activities department, just not the water part of it. And I didn't work with the gift shop, but every other area. Front office, housekeeping, steward, washing the pots, cooking. And yes, I did move on to managing a small guest facility, which was my desire and my dream. I did move on to managing a guest facility hosting 200 guests, and I was pleased to have been able to do that. And of course, the opportunity came through Western Hospitality Institute's influence on my life. And I'm very proud to be an alumnus of this institution. Put your hands together again. But let me hammer home some points. There's some people who said to me, including the chairman, do I have anything to be worried about? Because they saw me with my hammer. Let me hammer home some points. Even if you forget everything else I said, you'll never forget the points I hammered because of this hammer. Visual learners. Now, graduates, I stand before you today not just to congratulate you, but to challenge you. I want to hammer home a few key points as you prepare to take the next step in your journey. Imagine that your education is like a hammer. A hammer in your hand has a single important purpose: to drive change, to build, to shape, but it's driving home something. But if a hammer is not used properly, it has no power. It only sits there as a stick with a metal at the end. 1, reposition yourselves with purpose. Just like a hammer has a handle and a head, Your education has both practical knowledge and a purpose. Reposition yourself for the future by aligning your skills with your purpose. Your education has given you the tools, but now you must choose the direction in which you will strike. The hammer only hits its mark when the wielder has a clear target. Know your why. Why are you doing this? Why do you have this degree, associate's degree, diploma? Why? 2, empower yourselves with integrity. A hammer does not have power on its own. It must be wielded with care and precision. We know if it is not precise, what will happen, right? May lose a few fingers. As you move forward in your careers and lives, always wield your education with integrity. Empower others. Empower yourselves with the knowledge that you have the ability to make positive impact. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Don't just build for yourselves, build for the greater good. Give back to your school, because others like yourselves need the support. You have talents and abilities that will allow you to also give back to the very school that gave you an opportunity. Are you with me, graduates? I hope so, you know. Number 3, I'm going to look for you in the coming days. Number 3, use your knowledge to shape the world. A hammer shapes the material it strikes. In the same way, your education has the power to shape the world around you. You have the ability to transform communities, to innovate, and to lead with compassion and vision. As you move forward, shape the future with your knowledge. Don't just let life shape you. Be the one to shape life for you and for others around you. You are not just entering the workforce, you are entering a world that needs your ideas, your creativity, and your passion. Let your education be the tool that drives you forward. Let it be the tool that builds something better for everyone. Graduates, as you step into the future, equipped with knowledge, honed by discipline, and inspired by purpose, I challenge you to embrace the extraordinary responsibility of repositioning and empowering yourselves for the greater good. May your journey be marked by courage and your endeavors by excellence, your legacy by transformative impact. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2024 is active. Want to hear what we say? Congratulations to the class of 2024, and may the favor of the Most High, in Hebrew we say Yahuwah, go with you as you rise to meet the opportunities and challenges that await. Thank you so much for listening. All the best. Before I leave this microphone, don't worry, the package was traveling. I want to give Dr. Cornell a copy of my book. I'm not purchasing it. You don't need to purchase. With all that he has done to inspire me, I have to give back. Not true? You agree? And so it says, this is of course the book called Mindful Mastery, Navigating Realities with Awareness. Yes, and my pretty on the back. But it says, and I'm sure I signed it, because you know they said it was signed, and I used a fancy pen. Dear Dr. Cecil Cornwell, it is with heartfelt gratitude and respect that I present this book to you. Your leadership, guidance, and kindness during my time at Western Hospitality Institute left an indelible mark on my life. May this gift serve as a small token of my appreciation for the wisdom and inspiration you have shared. Blessings and shalom always. Your past student, Dr. Latoya Morgan Smith. Yes, of course.
What a speech, eh? That was quite a speech. I sat there in awe and in retrospect of, when I met Latoya. And Latoya should say, Jason, you hear she speaks of Jason because we mentioned that, was busy texting and said, wow, full circle, look at Latoya. And I just want to share that he sends his congratulations and how very proud, because you both would have journeyed from Runaway Bay Heart Academy. You would have gotten to the doctorate before him, but he's in his final stages of his doctorate in education from Temple. But he's very, very proud of you. Very proud. And Jason, I guess he was bigging up Bonnie. He said Bonnie still did it? Yes, taking pictures. But yes, and he works with the state, the government, doing what you're doing here in Jamaica. So he now works with the state of Maryland in education. Yes, you heard Latoya spoke about the research. I want you to fully understand that when the University of Technology, University of Delaware, and University of Delaware is the most prestigious white university in the state of Delaware. That's where President Biden did his law degree. And we have a relationship, and that's where we send some of our students to do graduate work, like Jason Miller. That's where he did his graduate work, his master's, because they give our student graduate assistantship to do. And we have with us, I should acknowledge, Mr. DeLion Carty, of course, who was a barber. Never left with a subject, but was able to graduate a white college with honors degree and was accepted with his wife to Delaware State University to do graduate work. So when you hear she spoke about that conference put on by the University of Technology, University of Delaware, she was the first student to have won the best research paper. And when you're talking about research, that's why many persons never become a doctor, because that research is not easy to get by. That's pure academics. So many persons don't have the time, the fortitude, the drive to write. He's not a medical doctor. A medical doctor is just a first degree, a bachelor's of science degree in medicine and a bachelor's of science degree in surgery, just like they are graduating with a bachelor's of science in hospitality. A doctor in education, just like a medical doctor who treats cancer patients, oncologists, or neurologists, or gynecologists, they have to study higher to the master's or doctoral level. So when you heard, for her to have presented and to have won that best research paper and best presentation is indeed a major achievement to her resume. Let her feel it, the love. And the second student to have won it was our student out of St. Lucia. Yes, she was a one, and since then they never had another one. It's WHI student who took the top research paper twice consecutively. And we work with the best researchers. As a matter of fact, when we started this program, we worked with the best researcher out of the United States for tourism, Dr. David Ngite, one of the best ever. And that's the person who would have taught you, right? Would have taught them research. So, and Dr. Clark, who Dr. Ngite taught. So we don't play with academics. Quality is of importance, because when our graduates go there, they must stand up. And in this hotel you're sitting, which was formerly Holiday Inn, the first female general manager is our graduate. The current general manager, a female, is our graduate. So at this particular time, we'll ask Ms. Carty to come and make presentation to our guest speaker. That's good. Could you come forward, please, Madam Guest Speaker?
Let me get my glasses on. Yes. On behalf of the graduating class of 2024, I would like to extend our sincerest gratitude to Dr. LaToya Morgan-Smith for gracing us with her presence and inspiring words today. Dr. Morgan-Smith, your wisdom, experience, and passion for education and your rich background in the hospitality industry have left a lasting impression on us all. Your insights have not only enriched our academic journey, but have also ignited our aspirations for the future. We are truly honored to have you shared this special moment with us. And with that, I just want to say we thank you. And thank you for contributing to our, future endeavors as well.
Thank you.
I think I forgot to mention it was actually 2 books. This one is The Strides of Triumph, so it's actually 3 books. I'm sorry, dear. So it's 3 books. One is a workbook that I co-authored with my husband, but it's otherwise 2 books that were written. And we are, of course, proud that even out of Western Hospitality Institute, we have authors as well. Not true? All right. Put your hands together again for Dr. Isha.
Thank you, Dr. LaToya Morgan-Smith. At this time, we're going to take the last speech of the evening, and we're going to ask our valedictorian, Mrs. Simone Campbell, to come forward and present the valedictory speech.
Distinguished guests on the platform, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty, proud parents, my fellow graduates, a pleasant good afternoon to you all. I'm a chef from birth, and I think I'll die a chef. I love food, both cooking and eating. And everywhere I travel around the world, I like to share my beautiful culture from Jamaica because I'm a proud Jamaican. But today, unfortunately, I won't be able to share the cooking with you guys. So I wanted to share the next thing that I love real bad was my reggae music. I was just told I won't get to my song. But I can say that I can only imagine when one of my favorite artists, Chronix, was writing his song, and he realized how hard it was to become an artist. And he said, me do it for the love, me not do it for the likes. Success don't come overnight. As we gather here today to celebrate a significant milestone in our lives, the result of years of hard work, dedication, and the desire to grow, it is an incredible honor to stand before you as the valedictorian of this dynamic class of 2024. This moment is not just about an individual achievement. It is a collective celebration of our journeys, our struggles, and our triumphants. As I look back on this incredible journey, I am humbly reminded of the power of resilience, the value of togetherness, and the extraordinary potential vast within each of us to transform our lives. As I reflect on our tenure here, I am reminded of the diverse path we all have taken to reach this remarkable point in our lives. Each of us has embarked on a unique journey shaped by our experiences, aspirations, and the many challenges we all have faced. I want to take a moment to share the vision of this noble institution. I quote, "To develop and enhance the skill and academic capabilities of students and employees in the hospitality, tourism, and the business industry by providing them with educational opportunities, both local and overseas," end of quote. Western Hospitality Institute continues to emphasize practical experiences, providing students with hands-on training in real-world environments. The institution aims to provide well-rounded professionals who can meet the demand of the rapidly evolving tourism and hospitality industry. Additionally, Western Hospitality fosters a commitment to excellence and service, preparing graduates to contribute positively to Jamaica's tourism sector and to pursue opportunities worldwide. This institution has produced many outstanding Jamaicans, so we just met one. Holding positions from professors, general managers, executive chefs, and entrepreneurs all over the globe. But today, it's our day to claim our part of this historical institution. Let me highlight our journey by sharing experiences during the different courses. In the short course program, we'll have bartenders, housekeepers, front desk workers, cooks, and the list goes on. We have students like Christopher, whose determination and resilience have truly encapsulated the essence of our entire student body. His story reminds us that success is not solely defined by grades, but by the persistence to overcome obstacles and the readiness to learn from every experience despite our circumstances. Our associate degree, looking so beautiful in your blue. And I remember when I wore that blue gown. I have the privilege of hearing from one individual, Anneke Lewin-Sangster, who was just here to do the presentation earlier. She shows remarkable commitment to her education while balancing various responsibilities. Anneke was filled with excitement and aspiration way back in 2015, as she tried to further her education. However, life challenges led her to take a break. During this time, she discovered her passion for entrepreneurship and successfully launched her own freelance business, using the opportunity to tutor many other students in this field and empowering them to start their own business, stay in school, and continue their education. Today, 8 years later, she is seated among us, the associate degree student, as an outstanding achiever, with the same passion she had for the hospitality industry years ago. Her journey is a testament of her determination and love for this awesome industry. Her story teaches us that it is okay to take a break, stop from something you are passionate about when it is necessary, but never leave it behind. Always return to claim it. For my batchmates, we all pursued the bachelor's degree. We have learned a lot from each other, celebrated our success, and support each other through challenging times. I would love to highlight all of you today, but that's just not possible. So I will highlight a few. The king among the queens who will be highlighted today is Ajay James. Ajay. Ajay's story is a testament of real perseverance and determination. Despite struggling in his younger years and not completing high school, Ajay refused to let his struggles define him. Instead, he chose to rewrite his future. With unwavering resolve, Ajay returned to get an education, enrolling in the prestigious Western Hospitality Institute to pursue an associate degree in hospitality. His hard work did pay off, and he definitely excelled. But Ajay didn't stop there. He seized the opportunity to further his studies through a partnership with Western Hospitality and Hocken College in the United States. Today, he sits among us, graduating with his Bachelor's of Science degree. His story teaches us that determination conquers obstacles and hard work lead to success. Diana Field began her journey by pursuing the short courses. And as my grandmother always said, one cocoa, full basket, start somewhere. Which served as a stepping stone for her. She pursued her associate degree in restaurant and hotel management. However, she quickly realized that this was only the beginning for her. Driven by unwavering desire to push her limit and to fully explore her potential, she made a bold decision to pursue a bachelor's degree. Midway her studies, Diana was faced with an obstacle. She was diagnosed with morphea, a rare skin condition. Despite the physical and emotional toil of treatment during that time, she refused to give up and is here today, graduating with her Bachelor's of Science degree. Diana's story reminds us that success is not about how quickly we reach the finish line, but it is about the strength and determination to endure the journey and finish strong. Usain Bolt once said in an interview, he trained 4 years to run 9.54 seconds. Tamara Clark Bernard. Journey is a testament of determination and hard work. Despite facing immense challenges like being a high school dropout at a tender age of 14 and experiencing homelessness, I stress again, homelessness. She refused to let her circumstances dictate her future. Determined to rewrite her narrative, she chose to further her education in her adult years. Tamara attributes her success to her unwavering support of those who believe in her. Even when the odds were stacked against her, their encouragement became a driving force behind her educational achievement. Her professional growth and her personal triumphs. Her story is a powerful reminder that support and passion and belief in oneself is all the encouragement you will ever need to succeed. Today for me is deeply personal. It is not just a celebration of a degree. It's the final of a long, winding journey that began in a very different place. For me, it's a journey of reinvention, of self-discovery, and yes, of finding the strength to overcome a world that told me years ago that I wasn't enough, simply because I didn't fit the mold. I grew up in a time where school wasn't always a priority. Life was complicated. My family had many struggles, and getting an education felt like a luxury, something out of reach, as I didn't have the opportunity to attend basic and primary school regularly, and had to personally enroll myself in high school at grade 8. I finished high school and worked numerous jobs in the hospitality field. But after years of working in different fields, I discovered my love and passion for food and learned to embrace it. Instead of sitting in a classroom, I learned life lessons in kitchens, on the job, moving up the ranks, taking responsibility, and building something I could be proud of. But even as I worked my way up the ladder, becoming an executive chef, I always felt like something was missing. I wasn't just missing knowledge. I was missing the sense of empowerment that comes with formal education. I had learned how to run kitchens, to lead teams, to be creative under pressure, but without a degree, I often felt overlooked, underestimated, like I was always having to prove my worth and working harder than everyone else. There was a constant whisper in the back of my mind, you don't have what it takes to be more. And you know, when people tell you that, after a while you believe it. But the truth is, I had something that no degree could teach me, resilience. It is the ability to keep moving forward despite the odds that eventually gave me the strength to make a decision that would change my life forever. Several years ago, when I realized something, I wanted more for myself. More than just running kitchens, managing staff. More than just working hard day after day, without ever having formal education to back up my experience. I wanted to understand the world in a deeper way. I wanted to know things I didn't know. I wanted to learn how to think critically, to challenge ideas, to build on the knowledge I had gained through my life work. I decided to return to school to do my associate degree in the Culinary Chef Management program at Western Hospitality Institute, hoping that when the opportunity came up, I would have something to snatch it, which I did. Returning to school was not an easy decision, as it became overwhelming at times, having to juggle work, school, and family. But I had a strong support. My mother was my strongest support, who I lost to illness during that time. I had to take a break. I then returned and successfully completed my courses and graduated with my associate degree. in 2021, I decided to join forces with my son, Nikhil Campbell, who is watching online right now, to pursue a bachelor's degree in hospitality management, as I believe having him along with me would make a difference. He would push me. Students, ladies and gentlemen, I pushed him more than he pushed me. And when I reach home, I'm often reminded, please be reminded you're a student and not my mother in class. There were times when I felt as if I couldn't go on, from having to work, attending late night classes, completing many coursework in a short time frame, among other responsibilities, but I pushed through. My fellow graduates, I want you to help me right here. When I talk about the work and the work that is so hard, and I hear all the speakers that came up before me talk about the education at Western Hospitality. The hard, not true? At the hardest school, right? I can guarantee my bachelor's students are still trying to work out some of those formula from Mr. Malcolm. And I always have something in my mind about Mr. O'Day James, and I never say it. And I think I have the opportunity to say it now. He's listening. So when we do research, and he have you until 12 in the night, and you decide, okay, you're gonna go to bed now. Things over, things done. So you know, as all Jamaicans, everybody, we put down with phone, we plug it in, you run to the bathroom, you come back, but you take a one pip. So by this at 12:35 now, you know, and the last message, text on it is from Mr. James. Please be reminded, your chapter 1, 2, and 3 is due 8 a.m. in the morning. So you go to bed, because you just say, you know something? You wake up 5 o'clock, run go use the bathroom and push in some work so you can send it. But the first vice note you hear, Mr. James, please be reminded, the portal will be closing. We will not accept it after 8 a.m. And I used to wonder, so I'm asking him, he's online, you don't sleep when night come down? Today, as I stand before you, minutes away from receiving my Bachelor's of Science degree, that I worked so hard for. And as the eldest person in my class, yes, I only look young, my old man. I am a living proof that it is never too late to rewrite your narrative. Education is not bounded by age, background, or struggles. It is an opportunity we give ourselves, a declaration of hope and a testament of the human spirits that captivate our purpose to overcome anything. To my fellow graduates, we all are here today because we dare to dream and to preserve and to persevere through our circumstances. As we stand on this high of our future, remember that your journey, like mine, is unique. It's unique in its own way. Wherever life takes you next, carry the lesson you have learned here, not just the academic ones, but lessons of friendship, happiness, dedication, and hard work. To my family and loved ones, thank you for your sacrifices and support, as it has been instrumental for my success. To all the families, the mothers, the brothers, the husbands in here, all the graduates, I say thank you. To anyone who feels that their dreams are out of reach, let my story remind you, It is never too late to dream again. There's always time to start over and finish strong. Congratulations, class of 2024. The world is waiting for us to make our mark. So let us step out into the world with confidence, knowing that we are equipped with the knowledge, the skill, the resilience to make our mark and to make our dream a reality. To all the people who thought we couldn't have done it, I leave for them one song. I won't get my song and I can't sing, but I think it goes something like this. My dream, my dream, my dream, my dream, my dream. My dream is to have my dream. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, Simone has been very humble, but I want you to know that in an industry where nearly 90% of our chefs are expatriates, they are not Jamaicans, and being the only female executive chef of a large hotel, a couple swept away, is no ordinary hotel. But what is also very interesting is that her husband is here. We're going to ask him to join because he's a Jamaican, one of the few Jamaicans who is an executive chef on the other side. Please join your wife. So you're looking at two Jamaicans who are executive chefs of a large hotel, an industry that is dominated by expatriates. That's no easy feat. And then her son, Nikhil, who is online graduating, is a little tot that came to WHI, but was the executive chef, the first young black man to be the executive chef at Rhapsody, which is ranked in the top 4 restaurants in the southern states of Ohio. So it runs in the genes. So we're happy, and I want to, just for the award, to present the valedictorian. I'm going to ask the chairman to come and present the valedictorian award to Simone. Go for the photo up in the front. Go join your please. Yeah. Yes, their young son Nikhil held that restaurant for nearly 8 months when it did not have an executive chef. Imagine that. Imagine that. All right, we're going to move to the presentation of the certificates, and we're going to ask our principal to please come forward. And we're going to start off with the certificates first. So the student will enter from that side and leave from this side. Madam Principal, could you please join us? You all right? So, Madam Principal, with the power vested in the pen and the recommendation of the faculty, I will invite the Director of Education and Facility, Mr. Delian Carty, to present to you the students who have been recommended for graduation to walk the ceremony. Mr. Carty, could you please come and read the names? Thank you. So graduate, just remain where you are standing, and Mr. Carty will present.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Madam Principal, Madam Chair, Madam Speaker, sorry. All right, good afternoon. Graduates, good afternoon to you all. It's a very special day for you, every one of you. All right, let's start with Mr. Hold on a second. Okay, so Miss Sanika Bell. You can walk around. Mr. Christopher Ward. Mr. Shamoy Cope. Mr. Romeo Kelly. Very nice. Mr. Kavon Hart. So this would be Mr. Kelly here now. And this would be Mr. Hart. Oh. So that's it for the diplomas and certificate students. I now present Mr. Enjoy. Okay.
We'll now invite the Associate Dean of Student and Academic Affairs, Mr. Andre Boucher, to represent the associate degree.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All protocol observed. Graduates or graduates, good afternoon. So I'll be presenting to you our list of associate degree students who have managed or make it to graduate to work. Our first name is Abigail Lewis. Alia Gardner. Javier Guthrie. Narika Donalds. Jaheem Clark. Raheem Clark. Tyron Small. Anika Lewin Sangster. Kishana Francis. LJ Cunningham. Jerome Matheson. Tamika Robscott. Shamoy Plurite. Kenton Levy. Delano Paisley. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, Carissa Fuller. Thank you so much.
Can you read? Okay, we're going to ask the associate and the certificate student to stand.
Okay. On the recommendation of the faculty, I present you as graduates. Congratulations. Well done, well done.
Thank you, Mrs. Clark. At this time, we're going to ask our chairman, Dr. Dean Williams, to please join us. Ladies and gentlemen, you really have not had a full degree until you complete your undergraduate studies. A full degree is the award, it's called a first degree, a bachelor's degree. And at this time, we have a set of students who we're going to be presenting to our board chairman as a completion of their degree. So they now move, if they want, to graduate studies, which is master's degree, or after master's to doctorate. So we encourage the ones in the blues and the yellow to progress accordingly. Okay, we're going to ask the graduates to rise for the conference of their degrees. And we're going to ask the Dean of Student and Academic Affairs, Mr. Dimitri Graham, who will now present. And of course, Mr. Dimitri Graham would be one degree above them in order to present them. So he would be at the master's degree level. So he's one step below a doctorate. Okay, we're going to ask Dimitri to present the bachelor's degree.
Good afternoon again, everyone. Madam Principal, with the power vested in the pen, and the recommendation of the Faculty of Western Hospitality Institute, I now present to you the Bachelor's of Science degree students for graduation to walk ceremony. They are Lennox Lawrence, Oj James, Mr. James,
Okay, I want to make a special announcement here about this young man. This young man was actually a dropout of William Knibb High School. And when I investigated why he dropped out, he said they were online and a teacher caused him to drop out. He said he asked the teacher a question and the teacher did not answer him. And he asked the teacher the question several times. The teacher didn't answer. But another student asked a question and the teacher answered. And for that, he just lost all interest. So his brother and cousins are graduates of the school. His brother currently lives in the US. And he came to the school. And we took him in, and he has done very well while he was there. He went on to hockey and completed his studies. He's now an assistant general manager at a chain hotel. an assistant general manager at a chain hotel in a very white neighborhood for which they're planning to file his papers. His brother, who graduated 2 years before him, or for 3 or 4 years before, said what it took him 2 years to get to America, it took Ajay under 12 months. Because when Ajay came to WHI and I said to him, he came with his cousin, and I said, when are you going to be left here? He said, no, not left here, you know. Because here what happened, from we are picking away close. I said, I know my students more than they know themselves. And indeed, one was left here. Ajay is on the rise, and I'm very proud of him. Congratulations.
Continuation of the names of the graduates. We have Chevenise MacDonald. Next, Dahlia Carty. Diana Field. Aunt Baby. Marshalyn King. +1. These persons that I'm going to call right now, they're online watching. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it here. We have Janai Miller, Mikhail Campbell, and LaShawn Clayton. Last but not least, our valedictorian for the class of 2024, Mrs. Simone Horn Campbell. And she is graduating with honors.
All right, please remain standing. As the founding president and executive chairman of Western Hospitality Institute, I'm going to ask you to now move your tassels from the left to the right of your mortarboard. Madam Chairman, on behalf of the faculty of Western Hospitality Institute, we proudly present the graduates from the Bachelor's of Science in Hospitality Management. I now pronounce you graduate. You may flip. Okay, there are some special awards to be handed out. At this time, Madam, I'm going to ask our former principal, Mr. Juraski Young. Could you join us on stage? Now, the person will walk away with the Dr. June Clark Award. Now, Dr. Clark is currently online listening and watching this ceremony. Dr. Clark came to WHI, a woman who had no CXCs or levels. She came to us as a cook out of a hotel. At that time, WHI did not grant degrees. So after pursuing her diploma, we were able to send her off to the United States on reduced scholarship. At the time, she graduated Little's London Secondary. And she was able to graduate Hockin College with 2 associate degree first-class honors. She then went on to Florida International University to pursue a Bachelor's of Science degree. Florida International University for Hospitality was ranked in the top 10 in the United States. She was able to graduate summa cum laude, first-class honors. She didn't stop there. She returned to Jamaica. She enrolled with Nova Southeastern University, where she pursued a master's in business administration. Did I tell you that before she learned of WHI, she actually applied to a community college who refused her? I remember in the same room, our Prime Minister now, based on her history, said, well, I wasn't the Prime Minister then. But Dr. Clark was to come back to Jamaica with a master's degree and one of the first Jamaican and female as a chef to have an MBA, was to be employed by the same college as a lecturer. After 2.5 years, she wanted to go on to do her PhD, her doctorate. And of course, the minister decided they weren't going to give her any leave. She never gave up, she still went. And she pursued her doctorate. Immediately thereafter, she was hired to Delaware State University as a lecturer, and was later promoted to a program director. So the hotel cook is now a university professor and a program director. WHI, Dr. June Clark embodies the spirit of what WHI is all about. We never started targeting students with 8 and 5 CSEC, including maths and English. We target students at the time who had no CXCs or O level. and that's what she embodied. So Dr. Clark, as you watch us online, presenting the Dr. June Clark Distinguished Student Award, I'm going to invite the person who is going to collect this award, our valedictorian, Miss Simone Hortley Campbell. Thank you very much, Mr. Young. I'm going to ask our guest speaker to present the President List Award. You would read the criteria of the student who makes it to the President List. Sometimes some students make it, sometimes they don't. It just has to be a student who reflects the kind of attitude, discipline, stick-to-itiveness. It's not just about academic brilliance. It's about youth leadership, commitment to the organization, which is WHI, giving back of self while maintaining academic balance. There are only 2 students that we saw fit that reflect that caliber from the graduating class. And the first person on the list is Narika Donalds. And the second person on the list is Delano Paisley. Thank you, Dr. Morgan. And the final award, I'm going to ask Dr. I have to be very careful with the name, Dr. Johnson, I won't get it wrong, whose wife is a graduate of this institution, to join us in presenting who takes home the 2024 Hospitality Youth Leadership Award. Dr. Johnson, the principal of Thompsontown High School. The student who will take home this award is a student who's very unique and embodies a kind of leadership that could easily lead the students into either lotto scamming, gang violence, but always stay focused to the core of his mother, who works tirelessly to give him a start. His mother works extremely hard, at times menial jobs. And at times, the mother wants to kill him. Well, I don't mean physically kill. But when a child drives a parent to the hilt, you see like how that woman did draw the cutlass to beat the child? But she's not that person. And I had the opportunity, all because of work, and not being able to find the money to be here. She wanted to be here for her son. But she said, you know, Dr. Cornwall, I don't have the money. I said, you deserve to be here to watch these crowning moments. I'm encouraging her to make sure that he goes away on the J1 program, student program, to work for the 12 months to earn. At this time, I'm going to invite Javier Guthrie. And I can see a proud mother standing with her children. Thank you. All right. Wow. We never made it quite to 2 hours, but we have made it to, what is it, about 2.5 hours thereabout to closing, you know. We're doing better. Usually it takes 4 hours, so we're doing better. All right, at this time, I'm going to ask Mr. O.J. James to read the vote of thanks, and then we'll have the recession of the graduates, and then we're moving next door for the graduation dinner and entertainment afterwards. So I'm going to ask Mr. James to do the honors. And I would just love for his entire family to stand and be recognized for the support, that they have given to their child. Over to you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm a bit nervous, but just stay with me, please. All right, so as I stand here today, I would like to first and foremost thank God for today. And I also want to say thanks to all the teachers at the bachelor's and associate degree and also short course level for their hard work and persistence to ensure that all the students are well taught. Also, I want to say thanks to our guest speaker, Dr. Lataya Morgan-Smith. Thanks, Dr. Lataya Morgan-Smith. For this name, I've been dreaming and saying this name to remember it. So, thanks, Dr. Lataya Morgan-Smith, for your informative presentation. I took a lot from it. Thank you very much. And I want to say thanks to all the graduates and their family that helped them along their journey. Also, I want to say thanks to our principal, Miss... This name is getting me now. I'm sorry. Mrs. Clark, for her presentation as well. And I want to say thanks to our board chairperson, Dr. Diane Williams Bryant. Thank you. And I would also like to say thanks to our musician and our camera person. But last but not least, I want everyone to stand for this one. I would like everyone to give Dr. Cornwall a round of applause. And we just want to thank him and tell him to continue to do all that he do. Everything that he can see is success and everything that just flowing through our veins. And I want to say, Dr. Cornwall, you have done a lot for me personally. as you know, I'm just 19, and I can't forget the day that I went to, the first day that I went to Western Hospitality Institute, and Dr. Cornwall showed me the video of Dr. June Clark. And I sit there, me and my cousin, Dr. Cornwall said about him. We sit there, and that story touched me so much. I went to my bed and I said, okay, OJ, you're going to figure out something to move. And Dr. Cornwall, I can tell you, I was on a move. I don't know where I get this energy from, but I was on a move, and I got the opportunity to go on J1, and Dr. Kawan said, oh, J1 is not for you. You should go back to school. And I went, and Dr. Kawan said, I'm going to send you to Akin instantly. And I went, and Dr. Kawan, I tried to fund as much money as I could. My parents couldn't afford to give me this money. And I reached out to my cousin. I have a cousin over there, Vaughn Campbell. And he helped me with as much as he could. And I was still there. I didn't have the much. I didn't have plane ticket. I didn't have food money. I didn't have nothing. And then Dr. Connor, I was there, and I said, OJ, you need to find something to do. I went to Dr. Connor, and Dr. Connor said, OJ, just write a letter to the alumni group. And I sit there and I write the letter, and Dr. Connor write the letter for me. And we sit down there. And Dr. Connor said, OJ, here's his number. Take the picture of it and send it to him. And I sent it to him. And then when I wake up in the morning, I didn't get anything, but I was still have to go in and book everything. Then Mr. Young said, OJ, I called Mr. Young and I said, Mr. Young, I don't have any money at all. I don't have nothing, but I really want to go on this program. Mr. Young said, OJ, I know your family, and I know you're gonna do this. I'm gonna do it for you. And when I went there and I spent the last that I had in my pocket, and Dr. Connor went away too, and he was the one that took me there. And when he came back, and he said, OJ, take back your money. Because you're a lucky boy. Same like how he told me. And he said, this person just give you the scholarship, just take back your money. I nearly died. So I just want to take this time to thank Dr. Cornwall for everything that he has done for me. And tell him to continue to do what he does well. Because there will be a lot of more persons coming up, and I know that I will make him proud. Thank you.
Thank you. You may be seated. Some of those stories I don't even remember. What is rather interesting is that his brother, 4 of them I mentored, but he came after, so he wasn't even my mentee, but he had a different attitude. So while I sent the brother on the work program, because I recognized the brother was destined otherwise, I said, go to America, go work money. I said, you need to choose another path because you have a different kind of future. And so far, he has done well. So I just try to work with students the best way I know how, just like Dr. Latoya Morgan spoke about her journey. I just try to give of self. Once you are prepared to listen, I know I can be a very tough, they'll tell you. But I do understand that there are going to be slips between the crack, and you just have to leave. It's hard. It's hard. Campbell Brown and I spoke about this up to Friday, that it really pains her heart when she gets failure or a student fails, but it's just life. Some are just psychological issues that you can't change. You just have to leave some people alone. Because people have to be ready for change. You can only create the avenue for them, and they decide whether or not they want to. My job is to create the opportunity they decide whether or not they want to. No, sir? Good. All right, so we're preparing now for the recession. So the students are going to be marching out in the order that they come in. And after which they'll take their pictures and then head to dinner. Dinner is at 6 o'clock. We want to thank those persons. Yes, dinner is at 6, so you have to return your gowns as quickly as you take your pictures. Want to thank the persons on Zoom, not Zoom, on YouTube, who really, the families, the friends of WHI, the family of the graduates and well-wishers. I want to acknowledge my high school teacher, actually, who is watching and texting me as we go along. She has been an inspiration in my life, and I'm very happy that both of them are able to watch Mrs. Retinella Peter Reed and Miss Dr. Wavelyn Stevenson Conroy in the United States. They have really been the source of inspiration in me becoming who I am. And I'm happy for them to be here to witness and continue to witness. I want to pay homage to them as they watch virtually. And all the other persons. I want to thank you all so very much for coming. So as a student prepares for recession, I'm going to ask you please to stand, and they will just come out in orders as they got in. So the bachelor's degree student, teachers don't have to go. Hello? Hello? You don't need to go. And the audience, you're free to go and take the pictures with